Welcome to the Foxhole. I'm Nandor Fox Shaffer. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This was kind of an impromptu stream. I wanted to actually, I have a lot to talk about, but I wanted to actually check out my internet connection, see how things are going. The last time I did a stream, the man child unboxing stream that I did, it went fine, but when I went back and was watching it, I noticed it was like freezing a lot, skipping a lot. So I'm really sorry for people who tuned into that and may have found it to be difficult. I don't know to get through, or you know, maybe if you're just listening, it didn't really matter. But if I'm trying to show you something and my internet is not working properly, where I can't really show you, then it's not it's not really a fun unboxing stream. So it's like uh, being able to hopefully see if this works and make sure everything is going smoothly. Um, I was watching this podcast a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. Really high quality podcast. It was a live stream, but like it like just wasn't working, and the people on there were talking about how like you buy all of this technology and all of this equipment, and you're like never like nothing goes right, even when you have all of this stuff. So that's kind of how I felt last time I was doing a live stream with the unboxing. Um, so yeah, I wanted to see how this went, and I'm gonna be like on tour on a lot of different shows in the next month. I think I have about 12 to 15 lined up already. I'm gonna try to uh, schedule a few more. But you know, anytime you launch a campaign, you're always having to promote it. And I've made so many connections over the years with different YouTube shows and podcasts. And so thankfully, I have a list of people that I reach out to that are really reliable. And I'm excited to be back on some shows and talk about my books. And there's so many exciting things, specifically with this campaign that we're going to be talking about, and other things that have happened in my writing career that I want to talk about with people. So it's going to be really fun to go on these shows and not only talk about seasons and the campaign that I'm promoting, but also other things that I'm working on, and uh, just how far we've come, which is, you know, we've come far, but it's been a long time. So I think it shows the work ethic, the ability to persevere, and not taking no for an answer when it comes to making comics. You just really have to uh, keep chipping away and seeing what comes of it. And something that I learned being in New York and going to New York Comic Con, and we can talk about this more later in the stream. But I was talking to an editor at a publisher, and you know, he's been making comics and publishing comics, been in the industry for 20 plus years, and you know, he was just telling me it's really all about relationships. It's really all about building relationships with people. And he wasn't like, I wasn't asking for advice, and it wasn't like one of those types of conversations, but he was just kind of reflecting on his own experience with making comics, and um or at least with being in the industry. He didn't make comics himself. So it was I took that because that's something I've learned about all of this is no matter how great your book is, no matter how much you put yourself out there, if you want to make it in comics, it really is about building those relationships and fostering those relationships and being able to work with others. And I think that's really important in any creative field that you're in. Um, and it really, you know, comes down to being able to um, uh, follow up with people and uh, if they pass on a project, it doesn't mean they're saying no to like you or anything else that you do. It's just maybe not the right time. And I think that uh, goes a long way for people who maybe feel discouraged at some point. So, but I have a few people coming in. I'm kind of just ranting. We got the artist of seasons. Hey, Anthony. He's in the chat. Anyone who's watching, definitely come into the chat and say hi. Really, really exciting to talk with you and to see everyone here. Um, Anthony says nepotism says how you're going to make it. um, how you stay successful in this world. Nepotism is how you. Yeah. See, and I don't have any of that, so I guess it's like it's impossible for me, right? Um, I don't think there's really anyone in my family who's pursued comics or who has done anything in the arts really, in terms of being like super successful. But uh, you got to start somewhere, and I think people who uh, if they don't have their foot in the door through nepotism or through whatever whatever means, going to conventions and talking with people and just being personable and putting a face to your name is so important. There's so much BS on the internet and online, and so much infighting sometimes. And something I learned in New York, um, I think like the thing about being at a convention and talking with people is you really get to see how people really are, and kind of meet them where they are. But that was really exciting. It was like such a positive experience. Anytime, like when I went to C2E2 in Chicago, um, and when I went to New York, and when I've been to conventions, when I've done store signings, I mean, anytime, um, anytime you're in a uh, a real world situation where you're promoting your stuff and you're able to meet people, um, and you have those positive experiences, it changes the way you look at how you make comics and what you do. And it's really exciting to meet fans and meet people who are uh, doing what you're doing and trying to do what you're trying to do, and see how much the everyone's on the same kind of playing field. Everyone's trying to find the next job and the next thing. So it's really exciting to be a part of those situations and to have those conversations with people. Send me the link, or are you doing a solo thing? Yeah, this is just a solo thing. I'm not going to be live for too long. I'm not launching the campaign tonight. I'm going to be launching it tomorrow. Um, but I really appreciate you being in the chat. And I have so many things I want to talk about. I have like my New York Comic Con haul. I have the Source Point Press publishing deal that I want to talk about. Um, there's so many cool things that we'll go over, but I hope you stay, in the chat. And but if not, it's okay. But yeah, I would definitely like to do a stream together while the campaign is live soon. And we got Larry. Hey, Larry, what's up? Let's see. So yeah, I got a few people watching. This is really exciting. So the first thing, the reason why we're doing this stream is because I wanted to share the pre-launch page. So this is the pre-launch page for Seasons Volumes 1 and 2. This is the trade paperback editions of the series. The covers by Anthony Gonzalez Clark, and the interior art by him as well. So this is going to be the 8th, or well, in terms of Kickstarter, the 8th Kickstarter campaign that I've launched, but the 10th crowdfunding campaign that I will be launching. So, I've been doing about one a year, something like that. I've been making comics for about 8 years. So I know how it's done. I've actually had this campaign ready to go for a while, like all the graphics and everything for a while, but I've waited for the right time. So, um, there's a lot of great um, like work that I've put in this campaign, but I've just been waiting for the right time to share it with people. So, um, and the publishing deal with Source Point Press and kind of the serendipity of how all this is coming together is really exciting. So, this is just like the perfect time to be talking about this book and sharing it with people. Hey, Johnny, what's up? Yeah, dude, great seeing you at New York. Loved hanging out with you and everyone there. Um, I didn't know if you guys got together again the next following night. I apologize that I missed out if you did. I was so like tired, and I was like, man, I really need to rest because what that would have been like Saturday and then Sunday. So there was like another whole day of the convention. And I was just like, man, I gotta crash. My feet hurt so bad. I literally came home and had blisters on my feet from just how much walking I was doing. I mean, I don't regret any moment of it whatsoever. But I really enjoyed hanging out, and I got to meet so many great people there. I really appreciate you putting that event on, and it was just so exciting to do that. But um, yeah, I hope you're doing well. And I believe I'm scheduled to be on Indie Comics Relay with you, Keith, and Harry next Monday, I think the 27th. So I cannot wait to be on with you guys. But yeah, so this is the campaign for the pre-launch page for seasons volumes 1 and 2. We're at 157 followers. So guys, sign up if you haven't signed up yet. My goal is to try to hit 200 before we go live. Um, but hey, we're close. And honestly, I think this is the most pre-launch followers I've ever had for any campaign. Granted, it's been up for a while, so there's that. But I'm really excited, and I feel like we're gonna have a really strong launch tomorrow. So everyone, get ready. This is gonna be a great book, a great launch. Let me put the me here not doing my due diligence. I'm going to put the link in the chat on YouTube. So people who are watching on YouTube, you can check it out. People who are watching on Facebook or on X, you can click on the link to the YouTube uh, page, I believe, the YouTube live stream, and you can check out the link in the description below and also in the live chat. So, yeah. But yeah, this is so cool. So I hope you guys will sign up. Maybe we can hit 160 tonight, and then we can go live tomorrow. I'm going to be live launching with Ernie on Blurred Without Fear. I think at 7 p.m. Central. I'm still coordinating with him, so hopefully that will all shake out. But I cannot wait to launch on his channel. I love Ernie. He's such a fun guy, and I've been on his channel a few times. So uh, I'll definitely be posting about it tomorrow once the link is live and all of that. But yeah, we're planning on doing it tomorrow evening. I like to, you know, uh, I don't exactly understand all of these specifics on why the logic behind it. It's best to launch Kickstarters on Tuesdays, I've heard. Um, it's also best to launch them, I believe, in the morning or afternoon on Tuesdays, but I like to launch them at night because I'm home. I'm not at work. One, it's just more practical that way. Two, when I do a closeout stream, I can actually do one. And, I can be with everyone and we can, do a launch and do a closeout together. I feel like it's a lot more fun. So it it makes sense for I think us to do it um, this way. But let's see. Johnny says best to launch Wednesday morning, middle of any month. See, I've heard so many different things. Anthony says Fridays people get paid. Yeah, like I'm trying to remember what I've done in the past. I feel like I usually do mornings on Mondays because it's like the beginning of a week. I mean, I typically what I usually do is I always launch a campaign at the beginning of a month and end, at the end of the month, just because my OCD is like that makes sense. It's like, okay, the first day is the first, the last day is the 30th. But it just didn't work out that way this go around because I wanted to fulfill all of Man-Child issue 3, or at least most of it. I have 90% of it all fulfilled. So I'm going to be, you know, Johnny, your package, I believe, is in the mail or is going to be in the mail this week. So you'll get your copy of Man-Child issue 3 very soon. So, but yeah, 90% of it is all taken care of. And I wanted to make sure I got that campaign done before launching a new one. Mid month bypasses people who owe rent. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Because if you launch it in the middle of the month and then after 30 days, money's taken out, they're not thinking about, yeah, they're not thinking about having to pay because it's the end of the month. I never thought about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. So thank you. So yeah, guys, we're launching tomorrow, October 21st at 7 p.m. Central. I'm going to be on Blurred Without Fear with Ernie Carruthers, and I'm very excited to launch this campaign. This is the first time we're not launching one book, we're not launching two books. Get my fingers straight here. We're launching 3 books tomorrow. So what does that mean? 3 books. Well, it's the uh first volume of Seasons, the second volume of Seasons, and then also the Ash Can for volume 3. And the Ash Can is going to be the first 28 pages that Anthony has drawn up. It's the first chapter of Fall. So for people who have been following the book, who've been a fan of Seasons, who have read Seasons volumes 1 and 2, um, you know, maybe you're like, "Hey, where's volume 3? Where is it? Where is it? I want more. I want more. I've been waiting so long." And I really appreciate your patience. And I didn't want to launch this campaign and not have anything to offer for people who have been waiting for the next chapter. And although we're not done with volume 3, getting all the art completed for it, um, I was like, well, we can still give something to people, something exclusive, something, first look, like a teaser, your first like official teaser trailer that's more than a teaser trailer for volume 3. And so it's going to be limited to, I don't know, maybe 50, 100 copies, depending on how many people back that tier. We're only going to print that many ash cans. So it's not going to be something I will sell at any tables, any conventions, anything like that. Um, it's going to be solely for backers who back this campaign, who back at that reward tier. There will be a tier that has volumes 1 and 2 and the ash can, but you'll be able to get the ash can by itself as well. So, that's exciting. I think you're asking about Ernie. Yeah, he has a great YouTube channel called Blurred Without Fear. He reviews comics, talks about pop culture, has a lot of subscribers. He's really nice. I've been on his show a few times for some of my previous projects, and he's fun to talk to. I really enjoy his stuff, so I recommend checking him out. Um, but yeah, Ernie's always been a great supporter of mine, so he's a good friend and a great YouTube channel. But yeah, so here we are, guys. Like I said, we're launching tomorrow, and I can't wait. Uh, just go through the page here very quickly. I know I've shown this off so many times. I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about this campaign. Probably tired of me talking about these first two volumes. I do have a little teaser for volume 3 over here. If you want to click on this, this takes you to the volume 3 pre-launch page, which we already have 111 followers for, which is really awesome. So, I mean, this is my most ambitious book, my most ambitious project. Um, I've never done a book like this, with Manchild, with The Fabled Offering, with Lifeline, even. I mean, Lifeline was just a standalone graphic novel. Manchild is a limited series. Seasons is limited, but it's going to be like almost 500 pages. So, I mean, it's like a maxi series, 4-volume graphic novel series. So it's massive, it's huge. And it's unlike anything else that I've ever done. It's also the first book that I ever put out. So it's really cool to be returning to this. This is the return of Seasons. This is me rolling out the red carpet for this book. I made a long post today about it, talking about how much this book means to me and how far we've gone to get this out. And the reason why we're doing this campaign is not just because of Source Point Press, or because volume 3 coming out. The reason is because I've sold out. I'm going to have very limited copies of volume 2, the hardcovers, available, but volumes 1 and 2 are, volume 1 is completely sold out. I have none. I have a few copies of volume 2 of the hardcover. So we need to do this because I don't want this book to not be available. And it feels really great to be in the position of having a second printing and doing something else with this series. And Anthony is going to be doing these covers for the trade paperback editions as well as the hardcovers. So we're still doing the hardcovers for volumes 3 and 4. So that's still on the table. So for people who have backed volumes 1 and 2, no problem, no issue there. We're going to make sure your bookshelf and everything is going to look good on your bookshelf. So don't worry if you back the hardcovers or in years past, or you're backing the trade paperback editions. It's important that they look good on your bookshelf and that they look complete and that they look uniform. Right? We want everything to look uniform. I do not want you to have a hardcover and then you to have a trade paperback and a hardcover. I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. But like for me as a collector, I'm like, I need everything in order. So that's what we're going to be doing with this series. So yeah. So check out the link there, sign up, and let's try to get as many signups overnight and tomorrow before we go live tomorrow evening. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Source Point Press deal, the publishing deal. So this is the second publishing deal that I got over the summer, and I am so excited about it. This is going to be perfect for Seasons and perfect for what we're trying to do. I'm going to, let's see here, share my screen once again. And I'm going to put this link in the chat as well. So right now on your screen, you're seeing sourcepointpress.com. So this is the newly relaunched website for SourcePoint Press. And you can see Seasons is right there. It's right on the front page. So SourcePoint Press, the new publisher for it is Dirk Manning. And I had a few conversations with Dirk months and months ago, like about bringing some of my books to SourcePoint, and it was really John Dexter whose book Alpha Dogs and also Dime Store Detective, who had kind of connected me with Dirk. And I was working on some other things, and we made the connection, but nothing really ever came of it. And then Dirk took over as publisher of the company, and I was like, well, let me check in again and see if this is something that he'd be interested in, because now he really has the power to make it happen with this company. And lo and behold, here we are, and we're on the front page of the website. And I'm so excited that we're going to be able to not only do crowdfunding, but the book is going to be in comic book stores around the country and bookstores around the country. So it's going to be distributed to bookstores through Simon and Schuster, uh, and it's going to be distributed through Lunar distribution in comic book stores. So this is huge, and I remember talking to Dirk in our initial conversations, and I was like I love being in bookstores. I want to be in bookstores. I want seasons everywhere, right? But like my heart goes out to the local comic book stores, because that's where I buy my comics. That's where I look for graphic novels, and I really wanted that to happen. And he was like I can't tell you everything yet, but like I promise you we're going to be in comic book stores. And it was only like a month or so later that the announcement came out that they had made a deal with Lunar. So Source Point Press is going to be able to be in comic book shops. So you know when the solicits go out, I'm going to be calling comic book stores, asking people to make sure they order through their comic book stores, or through, if they don't have a LCS nearby, through Barnes and Noble, or wherever they get books. It'll be available through there. So, but it's just so exciting to. Um, it's crazy. This year has been wild, because um, this was my second publishing deal of the year, where my first one was for an entirely new project, like the latest thing that I had worked on and written. And it's just so crazy that next year, fingers crossed here, I'm gonna have the first comic I ever wrote out in comic book stores and bookstores, and also the latest comic that I've ever written out. And the gap between when these were written is years, right? um it's very validating. I've always wanted everything that I've worked on to be available for people. And so uh it's just so exciting. Seasons is such a special book. And before Rick Remender, who I love, before he came out with his book at Image, this has always been there. And this is something I've worked on since I was like 18 years old, 17 years old. Um, and, it's been a decade of making comics and trying to figure out this industry, give or take a decade, I would say. I mean, things, you take little breaks here and there. You're trying to work through things. I remember I was going to college when I was working on Seasons, and then I eventually stopped. And then like I'd written the first issue, and then I was like working on other stuff. And so I mean, but it's really the last 5-6 years where I really feel like um comics has been such a priority in me being able um to make a path for myself, I guess. And I've always like wanted to be on that path, but sometimes you're like, am I on the right path? Like, how does this work? Like, why does it take so long? Why is no one responding to my messages or my emails? Like, another rejection letter. So these things just take a lot of time. And But I think perseverance, like I was talking about at the top of the show, is what makes a huge difference. But so yeah, we're on the front page of SourcePoint Press. Just type in sourcepointpress.com. And what's so cool too is when you go to the creators page, we have all the other creators that have signed on with SourcePoint with their books. Here's Dirk right here, the publisher of the company. There's John. I mentioned him earlier. Josh Mallerman, they signed him. He's the author of Bird Box, which had a Netflix movie recently. Joshua Werner, who is the chief creative officer. I was trying to think of. I was like, I know it's not the CEO, but the chief creative officer at SourcePoint. And then yeah, there's me. So that's so cool. I was like, wow, like this is really official and this is really exciting. And um, when we have volume 2 up here and any other books that I do with SourcePoint, um, there will be the ability to purchase it, through the website, and people will be able to get it just like that. So yeah, this makes me smile. Dirk showed me like some of the stuff at New York, and it was just really exciting um, to see this and to feel like you're part of a team. You're part of a group, and people are here to um, lift you up and make something awesome together. A lot of the time when you're making comics, you feel so isolated and like you're your own, you're your harshest critic, but your biggest cheerleader. And it's only the readers and the fans that are there to lift you up. And then now to be able to have a publishing partner and to be able to have other people who want to see you succeed is really awesome. So it means the world to me. So thank you, Dirk, and thank you, SourcePoint, for believing in Seasons. You guys have really come out to support us, and I am hoping that this only leads to greater things with the series and with other things that are going on. So I'm really excited, and you guys should all check out all the other books that SourcePoint is doing. Wells Thompson here, he just won a Ringo Award um, for Best Humor Comic at Baltimore Comic Con over the weekend. And his book, Frankenstein the Unconquered, is going to be published through SourcePoint. And I've read some of Wells' work, and it's great. So I'm, congratulations, Wells, for the Ringo Award. And it's awesome to be amongst all these people and all these great creators. Let's see, Anthony, dude, do you have a trailer for Seasons? I do. They don't allow you to put a trailer on the pre-launch page, but yes, there will be a trailer when the campaign goes live. So it will be on there. I tried to see if I could put it during my live stream here, but I wasn't able to get to it before going live. So, but yeah, actually, I might be able to. If I go and let me see, try to log in here, because that would be great if I could show this trailer. Well, it's weird I don't know. It's weird showing a trailer and asking people to pledge, but like the campaign's not live yet. So, but yeah, there will be a trailer. So don't worry. But yeah, so this is the website here, and yeah, we'll be in bookstores and comic book stores next year. And I will say, there's one caveat to this, right? Like, the thing about the deal with SourcePoint is that it's still up to us to, pay for the printing. They do distribution, and we get royalties and all of that stuff. But we own everything. That's the trade off, right? Like I own the IP, I own the book still. But that's the reason why this campaign has to do well and we have to fund is because if we do, that means we'll have copies to distribute. We'll have copies to bring out to everyone, and it's a great deal. It's one of the best deals, in indie comics for people who want to keep their creations and want to own what they do. So, highly recommend checking them out if you work in graphic novels and SourcePoint doesn't do single issues. So we'll see how it goes. I know I'm hyping them up. Like, it's not like I like the book's out yet. But I'm optimistic about what we're going to be able to do, and I'm excited about it. So, yeah. Okay. So, um, let me think here. So we talked about SourcePoint. We talked about the campaign. Um, we're launching tomorrow. I guess the next thing, uh, you know, I'm gonna stop like shilling my own stuff for a minute, and I'm gonna talk about New York. I feel like it would be a lot of fun to go over New York together with you guys and just talk about the experience and the people that I met, and some of the things that I did there, and just have fun, hang out together. So I'm going to go through some of these photos here. So this is when I landed in New York. This is like the reason why I'm making this a big deal. It's the first time in New York. Okay, the first time at New York Comic Con as well. So I remember as I was going and introducing myself and talking with so many different people, they were like, "Whoa, like that's a lot, like to do, especially for a Midwest kid like me, who doesn't, never uses public transportation. I mean, I'm so ignorant of how big cities work. Um, I've only been to Chicago once. I've been to DC a little bit. I mean, and I went to Japan. It's kind of funny. Like Japan prepared me for New York, where it should have been the other way around. I leapt or I ran before I walked when it came to traveling places. Um, hey, what's up? Thanks for checking in. How are you, man? But yeah, so yeah, this is me arriving in New York here. Um, it's me on the subway. That's the Empire State Building, which I did go to the very top of. So that was really awesome. That was on my bucket list. Um, and I'm so happy that I was able to do that. I went to the very top and I put my headphones in and I listened to Billy Joel and Bleachers and like New York City standards, like and just like embracing the entire experience and having a good old time. So I really enjoyed that. So this is Joe's Pizza. This is actually, um, I don't, I think this is the exact location, but it is a chain. I believe a family chain, local chain within New York. But this was featured in Spider-Man 2. This is where Peter Parker is working in Spider-Man 2. And every time I went to this location in Times Square specifically, the line was absolutely bonkers. Like I could not get pizza here. And when you've been walking the convention floor, eating snacks, and you want like a full meal or, like a hot slice of pizza, I'm not going to wait in line for like an hour to get pizza. So I was never able to do this. Every time I went and tried to get some Joe's Pizza, it did not happen. But I did take a picture. I also visited another location near the financial district. And I did not get pizza there, but hey, I can say I was there. And the next time I go to New York, it's going to happen. This is some pizza I got from a different place. Absolutely delicious. I think I got pizza like 4 or 5 times while I was in New York, and I was only in there for like 5 or 6 days. So, like, I mean, I was trying all the places. The food was one of the highlights. Hey, Caden, what's up, man? Pizza time. That's right. So it was such a blast, and they had a lot of. I was able to peer into the shop itself, and they had pictures of Toby Maguire. I think with the owner, with other people in the in the shop, and um, I mean it seemed like such a fun place to hang out. But all of the pizza places I did go to came highly recommended and were fantastic. So um, yeah, I've had Chicago deep dish pizza. I think I like New York style more. I really think it something about the larger slices, and it's not as heavy, so it feels more um enjoyable to eat. It's kind of more fun to eat, I guess. Um I don't know, you feel like you're really a part of the city. There's me, no one cares. This is actually the Starbucks roastery. I think there's only 5 in the entire world. And this is where I met with Matthew Medney, the publisher of Gungnir Books, which wow, I've been so focused on seasons I didn't talk about my other publishing deal. But uh um one thing at a time here, right? But we met for breakfast here, had a great time. And this is the other project, the Gungnir Books project. It's going to be a 140-page hardcover post-apocalyptic noir graphic novel. Steve Orlando is working as my editor, and I couldn't be more excited. But yeah, we met here for breakfast, and it was lovely. It was a lot of fun. It was funny because when I went to go see Steve and Artist Alley, he was like, "And you guys went to a Starbucks, and like this is your first time in New York?" And I was like, "Well, it wasn't really my choice. Like Matt is the one who suggested it, and I was just like, sure. Like I don't know. Like is it a good place? Like it seemed like it was a little bit more special than a regular Starbucks location. And it was. I mean, like it. I think it was worth visiting. I did eventually go to. I don't know, Matt, if you're watching or not, but I did actually go to the Skylight Diner because I wanted to try it out. And man, that place was amazing. I may have some pictures of that in here, but yeah, I got this at the Starbucks. It was like a vanilla shake, like I don't know, it was something exotic. This was a whiskey bourbon cold brew, non-alcoholic, but with like vanilla syrup. It was amazing. So here's the show floor of New York Comic Con. Let me make this full screen here. Um, and like this was, I think, Thursday. Um, or yeah, I think it was Thursday. And it was busy, but man, if you think that looks busy, you have no idea. Uh, way busier. So I did get to see the Alex Ross exhibit. I got to see original Alex Ross artwork. Um, Guys, wow! Like, what a privilege to be able to be in the presence of original Alex Ross artwork. Alex Ross was not there. He may have showed up, at a different time. I didn't see him, but I had to get a shot of this, and there are just some freaking amazing pieces. I really wish I would have gone back and like took more time with them, but it was really cool just to like see them. There's another shot of the Javits Center. So what's really cool, I actually really like the layout of New York Comic Con because they have different levels. Like Artist Alley is like at the bottom level, and the show floor is like level 2, and then level 3 is like where all the panels are, or at least level 4 maybe. So I like that it's spaced, for as many people as there are. I think anywhere from 1 to 250,000 people over the weekend. uh, I thought they spaced it out really nicely. I mean, it got crowded and it was a lot, but I could still get to everywhere I wanted to get to. There was only a few times where I was like, trying to jump over people. Like, oh gosh, like, man, everyone's just like in my way here. Uh, I attended the DC Vertigo panel. That was amazing. I got to meet Chris Conroy, the DC executive editor there. And that was really awesome. Oh, speaking of Spider-Man, I saw this cosplay and I had to get a picture. I did see Todd McFarlane in person. That was really cool. See, we got sketchy got goth ends. I went to New York years ago. I stayed at Times Square. I didn't get any pizza. Oh, bro, you missed out. You missed out. I did eat at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company and ate Junior's cheesecake. Oh my gosh, dude, Junior's. I did go to Junior's and I had no idea what this place was. I was, and I think I have a picture. I'll get to it later here. But anyone who goes to New York, go to Junior's. Like, you must go to Junior's. Sketchy got hands. Awesome. Thank you for clarifying. I wasn't 100% sure on how to pronounce your name, but got it. Read you loud and clear. But yeah, we'll talk about Junior soon. That place was heaven. That was like heaven on earth for me. So yeah, here is the Todd father. I mean, the Todd McFarlane himself. He did a little Business Insider talk in the Pro Lounge, and you see him wearing his Spawn shirt there. And I did not get to meet him, but I did get a picture of him. I tried to get a picture of all of the Image co-founders that I could find, except for Rob Liefeld. I did get to meet him, but I didn't want to inconvenience him by taking a picture. I didn't know if he would be okay with that or not, and I didn't want to make things awkward. But I did get a picture of Jim Lee as well, so that was really cool. And it's just cool to see these people in person. These guys are like my heroes. And real quick, meeting Rob Liefeld, it was awesome. I mean, I walked up to him, and the first thing he does is he compliments the tennis shoes that I'm wearing, and I'm like, wow, like like this guy's cool, like, and we just had a good talk, and he was really pleasant, and I love listening to his podcast, and he has a lot of great insights, and his the Marvel's Reborn event was my way of like getting into Marvel Comics. Not because I was like born during that era, but it was like, oh, there's a Captain America #1 that I can afford as a kid. Like, I could start here. This was before they ever did relaunches or anything like that. So it was a big deal for me at the time. His Captain America run that he did with Jeff Loeb, it really made me fall in love with the character, and I love Rob's art. And the way I always describe Rob's art, especially for a kid, you look at his characters, and they're larger than life, like literally, like they feel that they feel super, they feel strong, and exciting to see move and to fight. Everything's so kinetic about his work. Um everyone has their own artistic taste or whatever, but for me at my age, discovering Rob Liefeld in my before I was even a teenager, it was like, damn, like this is real fun to take in and enjoy and see these characters fight. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm a huge Mr. Robot fan. This was from the Mr. Robot panel that I attended on Thursday night, and I got to see Josh Hurwitz, the host of Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, talk with Sam Esmail, the showrunner, the writer director of Mr. Robot, Rami Malek, and Christian Slater. And that was awesome. I mean, that was really cool. That was a lot of fun to be a part of that and to be in the room. I could not miss that. Some great street art that I found in Long Island City, which is where I was staying. This guy was drawing like this live. I thought this was like amazing. I was like, whoa, like it was so fun to see him. This was at the Bad Idea booth. There's the Jim Lee photo. Oh, Midtown Comics. So yeah, this was on my bucket list. Like I really wanted to go to Midtown Comics and go to as many comic book stores in New York as possible. I mean, I would get comic books growing up, and I'd always see these Midtown Comics ads, or Forbidden Planet, which I was able to go to, and be like, like, man, I want to go there. Like, I want to check that place out. And so, 20 years later, I finally got to do it. Better late than never. But this was actually a really special experience because while I don't have any pictures of it, I do have evidence. I'll show you guys my haul that I got from NYCC. But I was able to attend the Energon signing that Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, Jorge Corona, Dan Mora was there. Skybound Energon Transformers launch of issue 25. And it was a big deal. So it was really cool to not only go to Midtown Comics and experience that for the first time, but get to meet all these creators. And I've worked with Tom Riley on the cover for Man Child issue 1 for variant covers. So it was great to meet him in person. And it was awesome because I went up to the table there to get some G.I. Joe stuff signed because he's the artist on G.I. Joe right now with Joshua Williamson writing. And I was like, hey, it's Nandor Shaffer. And he was like, I know who you are. Like, he recognized me and we'd never met. And it was really cool. Like I was like, cool. Like, I'm not, I'm not indistinguishable. And it was just cool to make that connection in person. That's Madison Square Garden. This is the chicken and waffles that I got at the Skylight Diner. This is me taking a photo with the editor of The Amazing Spider-Man, Nick Lowe. So I ran into him randomly at the show and had to get a picture with him. I thought, something about Nick that I really appreciate is I attended the Spider-Man panel in New York, and I also attended the Marvel's Next Big Thing panel. And he was the host of both of those panels. And I have never seen someone so energetic and enthusiastic about comics than Nick Lowe. Like it was what am I trying to say? It was it rubbed off on you, like seeing someone talk about these characters and be so loud and energetic about Marvel and things he's working on, and then when they would do Q&A, he would call everyone by their first name and call them a friend. And I don't know, it was really nice. I thought it was really cool to see that. And, whatever your feelings on the Amazing Spider-Man book, it's whatever, or since one more day or whatever, but it's like, again, it's about building relationships with people, and he was one of the nicest people that I met there. So it was awesome, and I'm really happy he took a picture with me. I was there for, this is Marvel's Next Big Thing panel. I was there for the announcement that Joshua Williamson was going to be taking over Iron Man. There's an image of Josh and CB Cebulski and Dan Buckley. Oh, so yeah, here is the which real quick, I'm very excited Joshua Williamson is taking over Iron Man. I cannot wait. I'm going to be picking up that book. And I got to talk to Josh a little bit about it. So that was really cool. So yeah, here is, I'm going to go to full screen here. Here's the amazing Junior's cheesecake. Um, so, while in Rome, while in New York, right? Like I was like, okay, I just got to go all out. And I got the New Yorker, which is this, um, it's the strawberry shake with a piece of cheesecake on top of it. And then, strawberry jam and whatnot on top of the cheesecake with some whipped cream. So, um, I, I, I don't recommend this if you're, trying to stay fit or whatever. I don't even want to know how terrible it was for me, but it was called the New Yorker, and I was like, I have a sweet tooth right now. I'm gonna try this, and I was not able to eat it all. I didn't even try to eat it all, but I did have to go for it, and it was delicious. So I had a great time at Junior's. And how I got to Junior's was I was sitting outside the convention center after it was over one night, and there were some people seated next to me, and I was like, "Are you guys here local?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Man, I have a sweet tooth. Like, I haven't gotten any sweet while being in New York, like any desserts or anything. What do you recommend?" And they recommended Juniors, and man, I am so glad I ran into those people, and they recommended Juniors to me because that was legit. That was fun. And there it is. Oh, here's the DC booth at New York. Oh, and here is Dennis Camp and um, Javier Rodriguez. So I got to meet them and got some books signed, and that was so much fun. This was an impromptu signing that Dennis did, and it was wild because the amount of people who lined up, and there was a moment where Dennis was actually like he arrived and he started signing, and then he looked around and he was like I could tell he was like, oh my god, like there's so many people here like that have lined up for to meet him and for the signing, and I could tell he was a little bit, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, maybe a little overwhelmed, but like just surprised. And like it's one of those like things that would happen to you that you'd be like, oh, I don't know if I can get through all these people. Like I didn't expect as many. And it was really fun just to be a part of that. And they were very nice to me. Really enjoyed getting to meet them. Let's see. Yeah, Juniors is in Times Square, and I think Brooklyn. I also remember getting pot stickers at Canal Street and the famous number $1 hot dog near the bridge. I didn't do those. I did go to Little Italy and get some pasta, but I did not check out those places. Upper East Side, there was a niche or maybe nice mac and cheese restaurant. Ooh, that sounds great. You'll have to let me know which place that was. Dennis Camp signed my Fix the World Ultimate sticker that he was giving out. This is the Absolute Batman #1 signed by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta, which I'll have to show. This was like, I wouldn't call it a mall, but it was like a shopping area that's right outside the 9/11 memorial. You exit the subway and you go right into here, and I was like, whoa, like I was not expecting this, but really pretty. And yeah, this is around the 9/11 memorial, this whole area. There's Little Italy. The 9/11 memorial was beautiful. I mean, it was really sobering, and you know um I couldn't spend a lot of time there because I was like this is kind of hard to take in, but very beautiful, and the engravings of the names there was really something to see, and I'm, they did an amazing job at memorializing, this terrible thing that happened for the entire country, and it was really beautiful to see that in person. But yeah, so I walked from the 9/11 memorial into little Chinatown, into Little Italy. I got this amazing tortellini with prosciutto and mushrooms. It was awesome. There's me again. Here's me at the top of the Empire State Building with Spider-Man Torn issue 1 uh, by JMS. Shout out to J. Michael Straczynski. I have not read this issue yet. I'm going to read it as soon as possible. I absolutely love his work, and I'm so glad he's writing Spider-Man again. Uh, this is me at the top of the Empire State Building. Some shots of New York. There's Times Square. I got to see Carnegie Hall. And then I thought this was a great way to end this photo album. Pain of everything makes the joy so big. And that could not be more true. Let's see, read that, but I was also sick, so some people just got drunk and went to Staten Island. Man, I wanted to go to Staten Island. I wanted to see the Statue of Liberty. That was something that I did not get to do. Um, I didn't go see, like, I didn't go to the top of the rock. I went to the top of the Empire State Building. I feel like that would, be a better experience. I went to the 102nd floor. So I went to the very, very top. You can stop at the 86th floor, but I went to 102. So, yeah. But yeah, so like New York was awesome. I met a lot of amazing people. I talked with almost every publisher that I could tackle, that I could run into. Every editor. I went to like so many different panels. I think I went to like 3 or 4 panels per day and tried to talk with people afterwards. I got a lot of stuff signed. So I'm going to show my haul for New York, and then we'll close the stream. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone's been to New York City or New York Comic Con. If you were there 2 weeks ago, I can't believe it's almost been 2 weeks now, like a week and a half. I want to go back. I loved it so much, and I really hope I get a pro pass for next year. So, um, I'm hoping I'm able to do that. So yeah, now, well, before I get to my haul, if anyone wants a more detailed, run through of me being in New York, go to my Substack, foxholecomics.substack.com, and I made a post about it. And I'll put that actually, let me see. I'll put that in the chat here. And there I talk about my entire experience at New York Comic Con, and people I spoke with, and all that jazz. So, yeah. All right. So let's get into my haul. This is, I went shopping in New York. I mostly got things signed rather than, buying new stuff, but I did buy some cool new stuff that I want to share with you guys. So the first thing that I got was God is Disappointed in You by Mark Russell and Shannon Wheeler. And this is a kind of a satirical paraphrasing of the different stories in the Bible. I really wanted to meet Mark because I admire what he does, and I wanted to talk to him about Ahoy Comics in particular. And I remember him talking about this book a while back, and I thought it would be really interesting just to read and just to check it out. We talked about faith a little bit because I thought it was really interesting that he wrote something like this. And this was published by Top Shelf. But yeah, it has some cartoons in it. It's not really a comic, but he described it to me as like if you're in a bar and someone was explaining to you the different books of the Bible. Um, so I was like, okay, you know, that's different, and we'll see how it is. But it was great to meet him. Uh, so yeah, here is the signed Absolute Batman #1 by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta. I had a really great experience talking with Nick. I told him how I was upset for him because people are just discovering his work, and he's been making comics for like 20 years. And he said this. He was like, "Yeah, I've been making comics for 20 years, you know." And I told him, "I've been reading your stuff from East of West with Jonathan Hickman, and before that, he did some Captain America stuff. I'm very familiar with his work. He did some work with Josh Williamson just a few years ago in Action Comics, or Superman, I should say. Um, so while I love that he's getting the love he deserves, it just goes to show you sometimes it takes a long time. And I could tell he was like, yeah, like I've been at this game for a while. People just are discovering me, but hey, it's just a matter of persevering. That's the theme that I keep seeing. There's a pattern here about making comics and wanting to stay in comics, and it means keep doing it. Something will click with people. This isn't all my Tom King haul, but I did meet Tom King for the second time. I really have to shout him out again. I did a YouTube video on this a couple of years ago, but whenever Seasons, and this ties into Seasons, whenever the first volume of Seasons came out, I did my second convention in Kansas City, Missouri at Planet Comic Con, and it wasn't going very well. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. Actually, a friend of mine suggested um, go out and just like give your book to people. Go to different writers, introduce yourself, network. If no one's buying your books, get yourself out there. And it was great advice. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. Why not? While I'm here. And this was when like Mr. Miracle had just started coming out. I think I don't know if it had finished yet. Um, but I gave him Seasons Volume 1, and he gave me money for it, and he didn't have to. Like, I was giving it away for free. So now that was my first book, and I have 7 books out right now. I wanted to meet him and thank him. I wanted to remind him of that story and how encouraging that was to me at the time, because he didn't have to do that. Um, And so he asked me, he was like, well, how's it going? I recounted the story for him. He didn't remember me. I mean, random 20-year-old at the time. Uh, so I gave him Man-Child issues 1, 2, and 3. And he made a joke. He was sitting with Mitch Gerrits there. And he was like, oh, I see the con here. Like you just want my money, more money because I gave you money the last time. And I was like, no, 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 like, please, like, do not, like this is the time I get to give you something and you don't pay me for it. But he still insisted, and he paid me for comics that I was just trying to give him. And he asked me to sign the issues. And it was just really a kind thing to do. So yeah, that meant a lot to me to have that experience again. But here's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, signed by Tom King. Like I said, I got to meet Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez, so I got their signature for Absolute Martian Manhunter #1. And then also I got Dennis Camp's signature for Ultimates #1. Here's Mr. Miracle signed by Tom King and Mitch Gerrits. So very cool. This is the one. This is the edition where this should have been a sticker, but they actually printed this on here. It's a Barnes and Noble exclusive edition. And I talked to Tom about this, and he was like, "Yeah, we're coming out with another book of his," and he was like, "I'm making sure that they don't do this to this one." But I wanted this one signed because I was like, it's a misprinted copy. Might be, I don't know, a good story to tell people. So this is the All In special signed by Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson. This is the first appearance of Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman. So that was really cool. This is Flash Rebirth, signed by Joshua Williamson. Flash Rebirth, like issue one, and then like it was like the one shot and then the issue one. So these are both signed by Josh Williamson. Um, so yeah, big fan of his Flash run. He did, I don't know, almost 100 issues, something like that. Or maybe it was 100 issues altogether, but I loved it. Heroes in Crisis, signed by Tom King. I wanted to get this signed by Tom King and Clay Mann, but Clay Mann wasn't there. He was supposed to be, but I guess he canceled. I did get this signed by the editor, Jamie Rich, though. I got to talk with him. So that was really cool. I got to talk with Frank Barbary. And this is honestly one of my favorite Doctor Strange stories. This is a New Avengers annual that came out during Jonathan Hickman's New Avengers run and Avengers run. And it was great to talk with him. He was really cool, really nice. And this was his first work at Marvel. And so he worked with Marco Rudy on this book, who I've worked with a couple of times on some covers for some of my books. So I got to talk with him about how he made this book and the process behind it and how he got to work with Marvel. And it was a lot of fun to pick his brain. And honestly, we had one of the longest conversations during the entire convention, was talking with him. And I picked up his new book. I'll have to show it off here. But I'm really glad I brought this because I was like, I really want him to sign this. I got the Vertigo handout special for the panel, and I got this Vertigo pin, and then also this is the bookmark for Jeff Lemire and Dustin Gwynn's new Image book. It's called, let's see, Crowbound. That's what it's called. So, and speaking of Jeff Lemire, that was really cool. He wasn't even like he didn't have a table or anything, but I went to the Vertigo panel, or the Image panel. Actually, it was the Image panel, and got to talk with him afterwards. And he gave me a bookmark, and I got to talk with him about Moon Knight. I love his run on Moon Knight with Greg Smallwood. So that was really cool to talk with him. There's also a sticker here for Ink Pulp, the guys that podcast, the Ink Pulp podcast, which I'll talk about later. This is an exclusive book that I believe was from Boom during the Boom Studios panel. Has some short stories in it. Speaking of the Ink Pulp podcast, I got Jim Mafood's Defective Comics Presents and got him to sign this. The signature's on the inside. I wanted to back this on Kickstarter, but I didn't. So I'm glad I was able to meet him and talk with him and get this book signed. I met Eric Larson, gave him a couple issues of Man-Child, and he signed Spider-Man Noir #1. This was an exclusive giveaway at the Spider-Man panel that Marvel did. I met up with my friend Phil Russert, got him to sign Arcane Syndicate and Papa #1. So that was really cool to meet him in person, a native New Yorker, and that was great. So I'm really glad I was able to support him. And everyone check out Philbo Publishing, see what he's doing with distribution. I've read some of Phil's work and I really like it. You may have seen his book Tragedy, which is a beautiful book. He's worked with a lot of great artists on that book, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is the Author Immortal. This is the book that Frank Barbary wrote, and I got signed by Jorge Corona. He did the cover. He did not do the colors. I meant to. His wife, Jorge Corona's um, wife, did the colors for this cover, and I meant to go get her signature, but I did not. But I did get this signed by both of them. So, and I guess Frank's been out of comics for a bit. He's returning with this book, so I'm glad he's back because I really enjoy his work. Oh, I got to meet Eric Palicki. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. I'm so sorry. But we traded. I gave him Manchild, and he gave me Ninja Gaiden that he did with Black Box Comics. So I'm excited to check this out. This was a work for hire gig that he did, but it looks awesome. So I can't wait to read it, and I'll let you know what I think. If you're watching, Eric. Oh, gotta show this off. So I mentioned Steve Orlando is working as my editor on my new book at Gungnir Books. And so I got to meet him and talk with him, which was really awesome. But I wanted him to sign. He's writing the new Exo Manowar series for Valiant. And so we signed it. And this is the New York Comic Con exclusive foil cover. And I got this at the IDW, Alien Books Valiant booth. And yeah, got Steve to sign this. So this is like a protective cover over it. But yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait to read it. And I'm so happy I was able to get Steve to sign it. And I can't believe we're working together, We've been going over the scripts for this graphic novel project together, and it's coming along really well. So I can't wait to share more. I have a publishing deal with Gungnir Books for a 140 page graphic novel. I have a page rate and everything. It's a sweet deal, and I'm really excited to talk about it more. But I gotta focus on Seasons right now. And as we're able to talk more about other publishing deals and other things that I'm doing, I'll talk about it more. But as one thing at a time. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. But I was able to get 2 publishing deals over the summer, and it feels really good to be in this position to talk about my work and to have backing for these 2 projects that I have going on. So here's Transformers number 25, signed by Dan Mora himself, the GOAT right now. Like, I mean, one of the best artists in comics. Hey, Ictus, what's up, dude? Beautiful Exo cover. Congratulations on your publishing deal. Thank you, dude. Yeah, I got 2 publishing deals. So we got to add an S to that. Publishing deals or a Z. Yeah, I'm really excited. I got a publishing deal for Seasons, and I got a publishing deal for a new project with Gungnir Books. The Seasons publishing deals with Source Point Press. And I talked about it earlier in the show, but yeah, I cannot wait to talk about everything more. But yeah, this is the cover A. Yeah, I got this signed by Jorge Corona and Dan Mora and Ben Abernathy, the editor over at Skybound. I cannot wait to check this out. I picked up Voyeur number 1 at the Ignition Press booth. Highly recommend you guys checking out this publisher. Jamie Rich is the editor-in-chief, and they have an amazing lineup of creators, including Colin Bunn, Jeremy Hahn, Leah Williams, They just like signed, I think, Rob Guillory recently. A lot of great artists and writers. So I'm excited to. I asked Jamie. I was like, okay, what's the most Jamie book that you guys are putting out? And he said it was this one. So I picked this one up. Yeah, here's Amazing Spider-Man Torn. I showed that off earlier. Here's the Ringo nominated Homestead for original graphic novel by Dirk Manning and crew at Source Point Press. I was really pulling for this to win the Ringo over the weekend. It did not, unfortunately, but it is Ringo nominated, and Dirk did a signing at Baltimore Comic Con over the weekend. I cannot wait to read it. He did sign it for me, and there's a picture of us together online. But yeah, check out what Dirk is doing. Check out all of Dirk's books. Check out Source Point Press. Like I said, Seasons is being published by Source Point, so I'm going to be talking about Source Point a lot, sharing it out, and letting people know to find these great books. I went to the Vault booth on the last day and was able to talk to Adrian Wassel. Wassel. I don't want to butcher your last name either. But he recommended Athanasia. And this artwork is by Danny. And it's a black and white, but it's absolutely gorgeous. He totally got me. Like, I told him what kind of books I like, and he was like, "You need to buy this." And I looked at it and I was like, "Dude, like, like you like, you get my taste." Like, he was a great salesman and really fun to talk to. So I really appreciate the recommendation. Chris Condon was one of my favorite people that I spoke with. I got Ultimate Wolverine #1 signed by him, but I also got the Enfield Gang Massacre, excuse me, signed by him. And he did this book with Jacob Phillips, who I'll talk about a little bit later. Jacob Phillips, because I bought 2 books with Jacob Phillips's work. But they're a powerhouse team right now, Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. And this is I can't wait. This was actually printed on newsprint as well, which I'm very jealous of because I want to print Manchild on newsprint eventually. So I'll have to talk with Chris about that. I was able to get his contact info. I'd love to talk with him about what they did with newsprint, how they were able to secure, the newsprint printer, because it's really hard to find one. But yeah, so this was really cool to pick up, and Chris was honestly one of the highlights of New York Comic Con. Talking with him, couldn't be nicer. I think we have a lot of the same interests, and he's around my age. I think he's a few years older than me, like early 30s maybe. But he was awesome, and I really love Ultimate Wolverine. I think Ultimate Wolverine is my 3rd favorite Ultimate title coming out from Marvel right now. I talked about the Midtown Comics signing. This was signed by Josh Williamson and Tom Riley. I got the Duke Volume 1 and G.I. Joe Volume 1 signed by both of them. I'm really happy I held out from like buying these beforehand because I didn't bring them with me. So it was really cool to purchase these at Midtown Comics and get them signed by the creators themselves. And yeah, they look brilliant. I love Tom's work. Tom and I worked on a cover together for Manchild issue 1. Actually own the original artwork for that. So really cool. We're almost done, guys. I picked up Megalopolis, the adaptation of Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, adapted by Chris Ryle and Jacob Phillips. So yeah, Jacob Phillips worked on the Enfield Gang Massacre, and he also worked on this. And I'm actually reading this right now. I'm about halfway through. I was not able to see Megalopolis. It was a flop at the box office. A lot of people did not enjoy the movie, but and I haven't seen it, so I was like, you know what? Like this is this might like it's not available to watch on streaming anywhere. Like you cannot find it anywhere. I think you can maybe purchase a physical copy of it on eBay for like 60 or $100, but I'm not going to do that because I don't know if I even like the movie. But I thought, okay, I'm going to experience this story through the graphic novel. And actually, the Abrams publishing panel that I went to that featured Chris and Chip Kidd and Nicole Gu and Mariko Tamaki was one of the highlights of the weekend as well. It was a great panel, great questions. Got to learn a lot, and I got to meet everyone and get this signed as well. But yeah, I'm still figuring this story out. It is very different, but I like unorthodox stories. Ichthus says, "Damn, two, yeah, two, beautiful collection, yeah." Oh, I got to meet Jim Rugg in person. We worked on a cover for Man Child issue 2, so it was really awesome to meet Jim Rugg. I did not commission this, but I did pick up the sketch that he did on a backing board, and this is of his original character, Street Angel. And we had a good interaction. I really love cartoonist kayfabe. I really miss Ed Piskor. And I was able to get this as well as the Hulk story that he did for Marvel, signed by Jim Rugg. So it was awesome to get these, and it was awesome to talk with him. And I talked with him about Street Angel and how it's not a story I would pick up as a 20 year old mid 20s guy picking up a graphic novel about like a girl who's like a ninja. Like I don't know, like it's only because of Jim Rugg's name was on it that I wanted to pick it up and try it out. And like Jim said, he was like, she grows on you, doesn't she? And I was like, dude, like exactly. Like I fell in love with this character. She's so fun. It's such a fun book. It's so beautifully made. Um, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's like one of those evergreen characters and evergreen books that you could give the comic to anyone and they could have fun with it. I also picked up these wrestling like magazine size books that Jim Rugg does. These are actually for my brother. So if you're watching, these are for you. But I wanted to pick these up. We talked about wrestling a little bit. My brother's like the biggest wrestling fan ever. But I think you're really going to enjoy these. They look awesome. That's so awesome. You got to meet Jim and the rest of the people you have the opportunity to work with on your project. Oh shoot, wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Jim Rugg was amazing. I really wish I was able to talk with him more. And I need to still purchase the original artwork for Man Child issue 2, the cover he did. I really want to purchase the original art for that. We talked about it a little bit during the show, but it was awesome to see him and to speak with him. And I gave him a copy. I was never able to send him a copy of the book, so I was able to give him his cover for Man Child issue 2. And he was like, "Oh, this is for me." Like he really enjoyed looking at it, and he thought it looked great. And, was printed well, so I was happy. He was happy with it. Here's the Avengers: The Veracity Trap by Chip Kidd and Michael Cho. Chip Kidd got signed this. If you guys are not familiar with Chip Kidd, I mean, he's done a lot of great stuff, but I know him from Batman Death by Design. It's a graphic novel he did with DC years ago with Dave Taylor. Him talking about this book on the Abrams panel that I attended made me buy it. I was like, this sounds exactly like something that I would like. It's like a fourth wall breaking Avenger story. And Abrams, the Marvel Arts imprint that Abrams is is doing like the Alex Ross Fantastic Four story and a couple other graphic novels. There's a Thor story by Eric Powell that will be coming out soon. I think in May of next year. But this is really, really cool to own this and to get a signed copy by Chip Kidd. Okay, finally, and I've talked about this book on social media, but This Ink Runs Cold by Scott Morse. I finished reading this entire collection. I got this signed by some of the creators in this book, but this features, I think, gee, around 100 different stories or more, short stories. I have a story in here called Jew and Row, and let's see, you can see my name right there. Yeah, Nandor Fox Shaffer. It's that blue. So yeah. Anyways, I have a story in this book, and I'm awaiting my comps from Scott right now. But I had to buy this at New York in New York, because I wanted to get it signed by Sean Crystal, Matteo Scalera, Jim Mafood, and the other creators that were there that were a part of it. So this, mark my words, and I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like this is going to win some awards next year. I'm not going to say which ones. I'm eyeing the Ringo and the Eisner. Like, being a part of this book. This book itself is such a statement against AI and AI art and soulless creations. It's a beautiful, beautiful hardcover that I'm so proud to be a part of, and for my story to be chosen to be a part of a book like this, I could not be in better company. I feel privileged. Like, I don't even feel like I deserve to be in this book, because of how good it was and how many amazing creators are a part of it. So this is going to be available soon, I believe, through Alan Spiegel Fine Arts. I'm really hoping. I'm not 100% sure on distribution for it, but I'm really hoping this gets into every bookstore and every comic book store in the nation. This is such a beautiful book that Scott Morse put together. And I actually have, it's behind my comic boxes there. I have the original artwork for it. So Scott's original page that he did. I had to own it. So I'm excited about that and to have that. But, well, guys, real quick, before I go, speaking of original artwork, this is something that I have not talked about or posted about when it comes to the Seasons campaign. And I'm going to pull that up again. Let's see here. Right, drum roll. Yeah. Thanks, Ictus. I really appreciate it, man. Hey, we gained 4 followers since the stream started. So thank you guys so much for following this project. It means the world to me. We're at 161 followers. Let's see if we can get 175 by the time we launch tomorrow evening. This is launching live tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me that you guys are following this project. But speaking of Seasons and this campaign, Anthony's original artwork is going to be up for sale during the campaign. There will be a reward tier for that. But I'm going to treat this campaign a little bit differently than I've treated any other campaign, where I'm going to be adding special original art pieces as add-ons throughout the campaign. So people who want to add to their order can do so of original artwork. I really want to negate any dead zones and really keep this alive. And flourishing week to week. And so I'm going to be like adding things to the campaign as it goes. But everything that you could possibly want, like, is going to be there available day one. Early bird rewards. They're going to be discounted prices for the first two volumes, and you'll want to get in on it on the first day. Please get in on it on the first day, because the first day is the most crucial day for Kickstarter campaigns. And the only way we're going to be able to successfully fund this campaign is that if we hit a high number in the first 24 to 48 hours. Like, that's so crucial and critical for a campaign success. So I implore you guys to please sign up and to take advantage of these of these early bird reward deals. With that said, what's going to be available on day one is, let me see here. I'm going to remove the original artwork by Rob Willis. I do not know if I've ever shown this off live before, like on camera. I may have taken a picture of it and shared it out. Anyways, this cover, this 11 by 17 cover by Rob Willis is going to be available on the campaign. It's a high price. I paid a lot for this, and I paid a lot for the cover and the original art. However, if you want an original Rob Willis piece, you'll be able to get this piece during the campaign. I'm going to try to do my best to show it off. As you can see, I mean, the detail is just insane. I have it in a plastic top loader right now. But this shows Fletcher looking in the mirror and his shadow self on the other side of the mirror, like smashing through it. And all these shadow selves like reaching out towards Fletcher. And one is holding, like tugging at his shirt here. But yeah, this is going to be available on the campaign, during the campaign. It's going to come with his variant cover, like the book itself for volume 1. But yeah, guys, so please get in on this if you can. It's going to help the campaign out so much. And I really hope, like this exists. It's real. I'm going to ship it out to you if you back it. And it's the only place that it'll be available to buy. So I hope you guys will take advantage of that. The other cover that's going to be available is Luke Eidenschink's variant cover for volume 1 as well. So this is all ink, traditionally inked, just penciled and inked by Rob Willis. The other piece, this is the same with Luke's piece. And this features the shadow self holding Kathleen and Fletcher on his knees there with all the different flowers blooming and dying. It's about spring, volume 1 spring. And it has the Seasons logo in the back, the original Seasons logo in the backdrop. But this will be available during the campaign as well. And again, it's 11 by 17. You have all these shadow selves in the background. I'll show it clearly here. I'll try to get some detail as much as possible. I should have done this with the Rob Willis cover as well, but you can see the precision of Luke's lines. It's just insane. Like, I don't want to part with these. I love them so much, but I want you guys to be a part of, what makes this series successful. And you guys deserve to own this as well. So yeah, this cover will be available. This original artwork will be available as well. And so will Anthony's original art pieces. And I have it's a standard generic like original art tier that I always do, but I will uh send you the options of which page you want, out of what I have available. Um, if you're curious, if you're like, oh, like I want to back it, but I want to make sure I get a cool page, let me know and I'll send you what I have. It seemed like with the amount of original pages that I have that are available, I didn't want to make a reward tier or an add-on tier for each specific one, because there'd just be so many options. And I feel like it would be confusing and overwhelming for the customer to like, wait, like, like, what are all these, original art pages? But it will be those two and Anthony's original artwork will be available during the campaign. So if you're a fan of Anthony's work, if you just want a piece of Seasons, also we'll be adding, add-ons, like I said, for sketches and things that Anthony has done. And because we really want this campaign to be big, we want this campaign to fund for these 2 volumes and the ash can for volume 3, and we want it to excel, so that we can start on getting more volume 3 done and get that campaign going. So it's all going to snowball into volumes 3 and volume 4. Finish the series, get it all done, get it out there, and get it in comic book stores and bookstores everywhere. Like that is the goal. So that's what we want to do. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready. Tomorrow night we're going to be launching. I hope you guys will tune in and follow me on socials, and we're going to make this the best launch possible. Please sign up if you haven't signed up yet. The link is in the description below. It's also in the live chat. And Seasons Volumes 1 and 2, the trade paperback editions, as well as the Volume 3 Ash Can, is going live tomorrow on Kickstarter. So, yeah, be there or be square. Wow, I've gone on longer than I anticipated, but it's been such a pleasure to hang with you guys. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams, a lot of live shows over the next 30 days to promote this book. And thank you, Ichthus. Can't wait for the launch party. Yeah, I might do a stream tomorrow. I know I'm going to be on Blurred Without Fears channel with Ernie, launching live tomorrow night. So subscribe to his channel if you have not yet. But I'm also going to be either doing a live stream afterwards, or maybe jumping on someone else's channel, or we'll see what happens. I'm very confident in this campaign, but I do have a lot of live shows lined up. So yeah, I'm excited to share this book out with people and to make this campaign a huge success. I think the goal is reasonable, and I think the prices are very reasonable, especially in this economy. And I think I've done all I could to make this the strongest launch possible that we can have. I just need everyone else to show up, and I want you guys to show up for it and to back it, even if it's $1, even if it's $5, $10, $15. It's going to be really affordable to pick up this book. Yeah, let's see. Ichthus wants the channel here. Let's see. Let me. All right, there you go, Ichthus. There is the YouTube channel. Ernie has over 116,000 subscribers. I love his channel. I love what he does. I love talking with him. He loves comics so much, and I'm really hoping we have a strong launch for the book tomorrow. So, he doesn't do a lot of creator like focus content that much. So it means a lot to me that he would take time out of his day to talk with a no name like me, talk about my work, you know. So it means a lot to me because he does not have to do that. And you know, we have it scheduled. I'm still working with him on some of the details, but I really hope we're able to do this. So um, I'm excited. Love Blurred Without Fear. Yeah, I love Ernie. He's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I subbed his channel. Great, great. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, everyone go subscribe to Ernie's channel. Uh, he's such a fun guy. You won't be a no name for long. Oh no. Hopefully people know me for the right reasons. Yeah, I feel so you know, I'm still an indie creator, right? But like I feel like I'm in that transitional phase of being indie, being mainstream. Like we'll see what happens. Like you're always trying to grow and you're always trying to you know, stay being a writer and working on this industry, in this industry. But I feel so privileged and blessed to be like a part of this and to make comics. And I always feel I've always felt like Seasons, while it has been one of my most successful books and it sells really well during signings, people love it. It's a very strong statement of a book as well. Um, I've always felt like it hasn't gotten the notoriety it deserves, mostly because of Anthony's beautiful artwork and just how epic, how bold and ambitious the series is. Um, I put so much of myself and my money and my time into it for my first book. I'm looking to hopefully now having these all these different projects and amassed a lot of followers um, from everything that I've worked on. I feel like it's finally going to have its time, you know, in the sun. And I really want tomorrow to be that day and to be that moment for this to happen. So, yeah, hope you guys will tune in. Hope you guys will back it tomorrow. We're going to be launching live tomorrow evening. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here. It's been such a pleasure. If it was your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning into the Foxhole. This is my domain. I got all my books behind me. And it was a pleasure talking about New York with everyone, showing off what I've picked up there, and also talking about Seasons and Source Point and Gungnir. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. So thank you for tuning in. And you will see me on a lot of YouTube channels if you subscribe to Comic Book YouTube. I'm trying to get on as many channels as possible. If you know any, if you recommend any, let me know. Message me, and we'll keep Seasons alive and make this one of the most, if not the most successful project that I've worked on. So I'm excited. You guys take care. And yeah, I will talk with you all soon. Have a great evening. Reach out to me if you guys have any questions about crowdfunding, about Seasons. Happy to talk with you. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and man, have a great rest of the night. Um, hope to talk with you guys soon. All right, peace.